These guys aren't your average players. They've stared death right in the face. You may think that being a professional footballer is all glitz and glamour, but let me tell you, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. So get ready to hear some crazy stories about footballers who almost met their match on the field. Number 1. Fabrice Muamba. He's a Congolese-born footballer who played as a midfielder for Bolton Wanderers in the Championship. But man, let me tell you about this crazy incident that happened back in 2012 when he was playing for Tottenham. During an FA Cup match against Tottenham Hotspur, Muamba suffered a freak cardiac arrest right there on the field. It was absolutely terrifying as he collapsed and the medical staff had to rush to his aid.
Well, I have to say this looks increasingly serious.
They managed to resuscitate him right there on the pitch and quickly got him to hospital. He was in critical condition for several days, but miraculously recovered and was discharged just over a month later. Unfortunately, his football career had to come to an end because of the lasting effects of his cardiac arrest. Talk about one heck of a close call.
Literally, within about a couple of seconds, I looked at you, then bang. That was the last time I was playing football again.
Number 2. Now let's talk about Petr Cech, an absolute legend between the goalposts who played for both Chelsea and the Czech Republic national team. Back in 2006, Cech experienced a freak accident during a Premier League match when he had a collision with Stephen Hunt from Reading. The impact was so severe that it resulted in a fractured skull, leading to him being placed in a medically induced coma for several days. The doctors had to perform emergency surgery to save his life due to a depressed skull fracture. It's truly miraculous that he managed to make such an incredible recovery and return to professional football, going on to have an incredibly successful career.
Well, there was a big possibility that after the injury at Reading I will never play again. I was told not to think about playing the football the whole year.
There's the big story for Chelsea, the return of Petr Cech.
Number 3. Remember that crazy incident with Eduardo da Silva? Man, it was that one unforgettable afternoon on October the 23rd, 2008 at a rain-soaked St Andrews. It was one of the nastiest injuries we've ever seen on a football pitch in this country. That day marked a turning point in Eduardo's career when he suffered some serious damage from a brutal tackle by Birmingham's Martin Taylor. In 2008, Eduardo's leg broke and his ankle got dislocated during a Premier League match against Birmingham City. It was absolutely brutal, and people thought he might never be able to play again. But guess what? The dude made an insane recovery, and just a year later, he was back out there on the football field doing what he loves. Number 4. Alright, here we go to the next one. This event will be a bit odd, but it's one that even the kids of today know about. We're talking about David Bust, who had a truly unforgettable moment on the pitch.
Save, and it was Irwin who stood up strongly as Boost came in, but the Coventry man with the legs.
During a Premier League match against Manchester United, Bust suffered a career-ending broken leg. It was so serious that there were concerns he might lose his leg entirely. Can you imagine? It must have been terrifying for him and everyone watching. But here's where the story takes a turn for the better. Bust underwent 10 surgeries in just 12 days during his 6-week stay at the hospital. Despite all the obstacles in his way, he never gave up hope. And guess what? Thanks to those successful surgeries and his determination, he was able to walk again. It wasn't easy though, because on top of everything else, poor Bust also had to deal with an MRSA infection that caused him to lose a quarter of the muscle mass in his right leg. Number 5. We're going to take a little break from the field for now. This one's about Ronaldo, back when he played for Manchester United. He had a close call after crashing his Ferrari into the side of the road, but luckily he walked away without a scratch. It happened on January the 8th, 2009 while he was heading to training. You've got to see the pictures of the totaled car. It was a wreck. But hey, Ronaldo was fine and even stood next to his banged up ride afterwards. He talked later about how lucky he was to be alive and gave props to the emergency services for their quick response. Pretty crazy stuff. Number 6. This guy's no stranger to rough treatment on the field, but believe me when we say that this particular incident may have jeopardized not just his career, but his very life as well. Barcelona had a tough time against Juventus in the Champions League that year. After suffering a 3-0 defeat in the first leg, the team struggled to score during the first half of the second leg. To illustrate just how grim things were for Barca, you only need to witness Lionel Messi's brutal collision with the ground. It's absolutely terrifying to see what happened when he went up against Miralem Pjanic for a 50-50 ball right before half-time. Messi landed face first, and it was truly horrifying. Thankfully, Messi was fortunate enough to get back to his feet, but we must commend his resilience. Anyone else would have required a stretcher after such an incident. When it comes to injuries involving the head or neck, it's really scary stuff. Fortunately, Messi was alright, and we can all be grateful that things didn't turn out worse than they did. Number 7. There was a crazy incident on the field that caused a lot of emotions around the world. Marcelo accidentally broke his opponent Luciano Sanchez's leg. It all happened when Marcelo, who's known for his fancy footwork, was trying to get past Sanchez. But something unexpected happened. Marcelo's foot went too far and ended up hitting Sanchez hard on the shin. The impact was so severe that Sanchez's leg twisted in a really bad way, and he fell to the ground in excruciating pain. After this incident, Marcelo was given a red card and had to leave the field, with tears in his eyes because he was so upset about what had happened. Number 8. Oh man, do you remember when Luke Shaw got messed up in 2015? It was a Champions League match between Manchester United and PSV Eindhoven. Shaw suffered a gnarly double leg fracture in that game. The dude had to endure a brutal tackle by defender Hector Moreno, who somehow got away without any punishment from the ref. Shaw was down on the field for a solid 10 minutes, getting oxygen and all, before being carried off on a stretcher. He had to sit out for almost a whole year after the incident. Crazy thing is, he even thought he might lose his leg. But hey, happy ending, he made an incredible comeback and got called up to the England squad in September 2018 and went on to score a goal against Italy in the Euro finals. Number 9. Oh, we can't forget about the incident involving Alan Smith.
He's obviously got a real problem, John.
Yes, they're all getting very anxious here.
Back in 2006, while playing for Manchester United, Smith unfortunately suffered a terrible injury. During an FA Cup 5th round clash at Anfield against Liverpool, he bravely attempted to block Reese's shot on goal, but ended up with a broken leg and a dislocated ankle. It was a really serious injury that caused a loss of blood supply in his leg. Smith had to undergo multiple surgeries in an effort to save it, resulting in about 10 pins being inserted into his ankle. Sir Alex Ferguson even described it as one of the worst injuries he'd ever witnessed. Due to the physical deterioration caused by the injury, Smith made the decision to switch from being a striker to playing as a midfielder. These stories go to show that being a footballer isn't all fun and games. These players risk their lives every time they step onto the field, and sometimes things can go terribly wrong. From broken bones to sprained ankles and torn ligaments, it's always sad to watch our heroes dance so close to death. Even though technology has taken over many aspects to promote fair play, some of these encounters still happen. With tech like VAR, even minute errors can be avoided and a smooth game can take place. But there has been some recent concerns regarding VAR destroying the momentum and pace of the game that many fans so happily enjoy. Next time you're watching a match, take a moment to appreciate the bravery and resilience of these athletes. And also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and leave your idol out in the comment section.